It's 11 o'clock. Chairman Berman,
Yes, yes.
your amendments included everybody?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You have a copy? I need to see our share because they've been misspelling and using words whoever proofreads or do the final.
Lamb is here.
Isaac, Isaac, Isaac. We only turn on your mic when you want to talk, and not when we talk to you. What are we going to do with the United States?
morning, climate change.
Morning, Chairman, and everyone.
Tell me once you know more about climate change than I do, or Senator Berman. Is there something at your house that is different from ours? Welcome, welcome.
I'm sorry, Vice Chairman, I didn't hear you well.
No, same complaint I've been doing just to make you unhappy by asking, what do you know about climate change that I don't? Only that.
And Neil, not even a thing.
Did you sign the hearing notice for us to meet on Friday, Chairman?
I just came, so I'm going to ask the secretary to bring it so I can sign it and send it back. Thank you.
Oh, then you need to make an announcement during the session.
I will. Thank you.
Mine.
Senator Gunman,
Hey,
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Net, Senator Pollack,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romulo, Senator Urusamal, Senator Wali, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 9 members are present.
Okay, we do have a quorum to transact business today. Okay. Reading of the journal for Leader Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you again, all honorable members, staff, and everyone who's observing our session this morning by whatever means and wherever they are. Again, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of our journals. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journals. Okay, next item, Chief Clerk.
Presidential communications for item number 5, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 6, some Supreme Court communications, none also, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item 7, member communications, none. Item 8, departmental communications, none, Mr. Speaker. Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none also. And item number 10, state communications, we are in receipt of 2 of them, and they are numbers 22-03 and number 22-04.
Okay, sign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item number 12, municipal or town communications, none also, Mr. Speaker. Item number 13, foreign government communications, none. And item number 14, miscellaneous communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on our order of the day. Item 15. Standing county reports. Do we have any?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we should have an awaiting list number 22-09 for standing committee reports, awaiting the 24 hours requirement.
Okay, while we're waiting for the report, let's go down to item 16. Next item, we can come back. Do you have any special committee reports? Item 16.
None at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
For item number 17, for assignment of measures and communications, kindly refer to referral sheet number 22-22.
Okay, Chairman, members, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item number 18, unfinished business. We have one, and it's on congressional resolution number 22-14 for adoption. CR number 22-14 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mrs. Jane J. Chigiel to serve as the permanent representative of the Federated States of Micronesia to the United Nations.
Okay, Vice Chairman Aridos.
Move for deferment on the said resolution to
Second.
next session of Congress.
Order is Congress is back in session. There is a motion to defer, which was seconded, the resolution to next session of Congress. You have a point of privilege, Vice Chairman
Thank you,
Christian.
Mr. Speaker and members. Because of the current situation that we are faced with, and given the number of members who are unable for good reasons to attend Congress's session, it is good to make the statement that the deferring of these resolutions to the next session of Congress and the fate of these sessions is being made in the good interest to support continued work on these nominations in the next sessions of Congress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian, for the point of privilege. I'm sure clarifies things. So let's vote on the motion to defer. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion carried. Resolution number 22-14 is deferred to the next session of Congress.
Speaker,
Next unfinished business, Chief Clerk.
None, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker.
Florida Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may not be out of order, I move that we go down to resolution calendar.
Second.
There's no objection. We will now go down to the resolution calendar. Okay.
Speaker.
The resolution calendar. Let's do resolution number 22-22.
Short recess.
Short recess. Go to the chair. Congress is back in session. First resolution, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The first resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-22 for adoption. This is attached to Standing Committee Report number 22-08 from your Committee on R&D. CR number 22-22 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mrs. Elena Paul Akinaka to serve as the Secretary of the Department of Resources and Development of the Federated States of Micronesia.
Vice Chairman Palik.
Thank you, Speaker. Move to defer action on Resolution 22-22 to the next session of Congress.
Second.
Mr. Speaker.
That the resolution number 22-22 be deferred to the next session of Congress. Yes, point of privilege.
Thank you,
Vice
Mr.
Chairman.
Speaker. Again, based on the circumstances that Congress is faced with, and due to good reasons for members to be absent from this session, and because those absences would cause Congress to be unable to take action properly on these resolutions, it is therefore made as a statement of support for the president to be able to renominate, to resubmit these nominations in a later session. I so move. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian, for that point of privilege. Yeah, let's vote on the motion to defer. Those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried. Resolution number 22-22 is deferred to the next session of Congress. Okay,
Speaker.
Florida Harbor, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to withdraw resolutions number 22-43, 44, and 45 and placed on resolution calendar for today.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the following resolutions, 22-43, 22-44, and 22-45 be placed on the resolution calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. The resolutions now, the aforementioned resolutions have been placed on the resolution calendar for action. Okay, let's continue with our resolution calendar. Next resolution. Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, under the resolution calendar now, the next one would be on Congressional Resolution number 22-33 CD1 for adoption. This is attached to Standing Committee Report number 22-13 from your Committee on Health and Social Affairs. CR number 22-33 CD1 is a resolution to further amend the President's Public Health Emergency Declaration dated January 31st, 2020, as amended on February 7, 2020, and further amended on March 11, 2020, April 17, 2020, May 30, 2020, July 10, 2020, August 20, 2020, November 25, 2020, January 29, 2021, March 31st, 2021, and May 27, 2021.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt the said resolution.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-33 CD1. Discussion.
Speaker,
Chairman Berman, you have the floor.
thank you very much, Speaker. I do have a floor amendment to the said resolution 22-33 CD1. I so move for the adoption of the amendment.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CR number 22-33 CD1 offered by Chairman Berman be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Discussion on the offered for amendment.
Yes, Speaker.
Yes, Chairman Berman.
I'm just gonna briefly go through the purpose of the amendment.
Go ahead.
Number one is to update the statistics regarding vaccination coverage and the number of stranded citizens and residents who have been safely repatriated to the FSM. Number two is to clarify the guidelines or protocols referenced in the emergency declaration, refer to the established protocols and guidelines of the National Task Force. Number three is to clarify the interstate travel is permitted as long as there are no confirmed active cases of COVID-19 within the FSM states. Number four, to allow for repatriation of key staff of foreign embassies and NGOs and essential workers. Number five, to require that regarding dock approval for repairs and maintenance of domestic fishing vessels, the Maritime Working Group of the National Task Force, in addition to NORMA, must approve the written plan and safety procedures. And lastly, the number six, to mandate COVID-19 vaccination for all FSM citizens who are residing in the FSM. Subject to the protocol of the National FSM Task Force, employees of the national government and its offices or agencies who fail to comply with this requirement, absent reasonable justification, shall be placed on leave without pay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for the explanation, Chairman Berman. Any discussion, further discussion on the
Question.
question has been called for? There's no objection. Discussion is closed. I will vote those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendment to CR 22-33 CD1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offer for amendments to CD1 by Senator Byrne is adopted. We now have CD2. Okay, any further discussion on CD2?
Question.
Any further discussion? Questions been called for? There's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will now vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Congressional Resolution number 22-33 CD2, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. Said resolution is now adopted by Congress. Next,
Point of privilege, Speaker.
state your point, Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to ask if I can be excused. I have a medical appointment 15 minutes from now.
Yes, well, that's always important, medical appointment. So yes, you can leave us there. We still have faith that should be enough to continue the business of Congress.
Thank you, Speaker, and everybody.
Thank you. Okay, next resolution. Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 22-43 for adoption. CR number 22-43 is a resolution authorizing the President to resubmit the nomination of Mrs. Jane Chiquiel to serve as the permanent representative of the Federated States of Micronesia to the United Nations.
I so move.
Chairman Perman, yes, yes. Second. Any second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded that the resolution number 22-43 be adopted by Congress. Discussion. And discussion, if none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-43, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Said resolution is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-44 for adoption. CR number 22-44 is a resolution authorizing the President to resubmit the nomination of Mrs. Elena Paul Akinaka to serve as the Secretary of the Department of Resources and Development of the Federated States of Micronesia.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-44. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-44, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion
Aye.
carried. Resolution number 22-44 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next and the last resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-45 for adoption. CR number 22-45 is a resolution authorizing the President to resubmit the nomination of Mr. Johnson S. Elimo to serve as the FSM Consul General in Honolulu.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second?
Second.
Moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-45. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-45, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution number 22-45 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Speaker.
Uh,
Yeah.
Chairman
Speaker,
Perman.
I have a few grants that I would like to withdraw in place.
Okay, let's do them.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. CR number 22-27, 30, 32, 34, 35, 40, 41, 42. Like to withdraw the following grants and place it in our resolution calendar for today. So move.
Okay.
Second.
Any second?
Second.
Moved and seconded that the following resolutions, numbers 22-27, 30, 32, 34, 35, 40, 41, and 42 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Said resolutions enumerated before are now placed on the resolution calendar for action. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. I know there are a bunch, Chief Clerk. How long would it take you to Congress is back in session. Do we have any resolution? First resolution, Chief Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The first resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-27 for adoption. CR number 22-27 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $275,725 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to fund and support the implementation of the FSM's Comprehensive Cancer Control or CCC plan to reduce cancer burden in the FSM for the budget period from January 30th, 2021 to June 29, 2022, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
I so move.
Any second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded
Question.
that Congress adopt resolution number 22-27. Discussion? Questions being called for. If there is no objection, debate is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-27, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 22-27 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-30 for adoption. CR number 22-30 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $250,000 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families to fund the State Personnel Responsibility Education Program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-30. Discussion. Discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will now vote let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution 22-30, say aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 22-30 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-32 for adoption. CR number 22-32 is a resolution to approve and accept a grant in the amount of $115,000 from the United Nations Population Fund or the UNFPA to fund the FSM's reproductive and maternal health program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-32. Discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-32, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 22-32 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-34 for adoption. CR number 22-34 is a resolution to approve and accept a $59,975 grant from the Foreign Fisheries Agency to fund the Blue Prosperity Micronesia coordinator salary and associated costs, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, any second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-34. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-34, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 22-34 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-35 for adoption. CR number 22-35 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $488,764 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to fund the FSM Public Health and Hospital Emergency Preparedness Project, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Curran.
Again, I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-35. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by, okay, let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-35, say aye. Opposed? No.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 22-35 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
The next resolution.
Wato sa po mga kon.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 22-40 for adoption. CR number 22-40 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration in the amount of $131,009 to fund and support the Maternal and Child Health Services, or the MCHS, of the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs Family Planning Program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
And
So
second.
second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-40. Discussion. Discussion. If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-40, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution number 22-40 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution. Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-41 for adoption. CR number 22-41 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $165,504 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, to fund and support the project entitled Epidemiology and Laboratory Capacity for Infectious Diseases, or ELC, in the Federated States of Micronesia, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Curran.
So move.
And second.
Second.
Moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-41. Discussion. Discussion. If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution 22-41, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 22-41 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next and the last resolution under the resolution calendar now is on Congressional Resolution number 22-42 for adoption. CR number 22-42 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $1,270,615 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, to fund and support the project entitled Immunization and Vaccines for Children, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second?
Second.
So second.
Then seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-42. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, if there is no objection, discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-42, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 22-42 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
We do not have any more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, point of privilege.
State your point, Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I guess it is that time that we say thank you to the United States government, and especially the agencies of health and education in that government for their continued support for our health and our education programs in the FSM. These programs are important, and I think they will continue to be important for us to retain. However, Mr. Speaker, I believe that from our part, we must also make sure that these programs are relevant to ongoing needs, that these programs actually extend to the constituents the services required, and not just for administrative purposes here. I note certain duplications in some of these programs, replications of services that are provided, especially those coming from the United Nations and World Bank and ADB, which tends to replicate or duplicate programs already being administered by our health and education programs people in the FSM. I recommend very strongly that we in the FSM take time to reassess some of these programs to see if we could not possibly abstain from getting those that are so small in number, from those that are duplicative in purpose, so that our staff here in Pohnpei and FSM and in the FSM would not have to do two works for the price of one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for your point of privilege. Well said, Vice Chairman Christian. I think that brings us back to what Vice Chairman Palik was, concerned about the reporting. So I think if all the reports can come in, we can assess the relevancy and the effectiveness of any of these multitudes of programs and assistance coming in from our part.
Speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I've asked Lam to draft me a letter for the Acting Secretary of the Health, because as of April, they're supposed to submit all the reports, but due to the COVID-19, they're excused that the report was not completed. So I'm gonna ask them that by this session in September, no grant will be acted on until we have that report for us to review especially the last cycle programs. So we're gonna do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Perman. Yes, giving them the benefit of the doubt in terms of their ability to produce the reports, them having been inundated with other emergency, activities or responsibilities under this pandemic. But yes, that's your discretion, Chairman Perman. You can do that. Any other resolution, Chief Clerk?
None, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess. Conference is back in session. If there is no objection, we will now go back to our regular order. That's going back to item 19, bill calendar. Chief Clerk, first bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The first bill under the bill calendar now is on Congressional Bill number 22-47 for second and final reading. CB number 22-47 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $2,800,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2021, for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Yap, Koshai, Pohnpei, and Chuk states, and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Speaker. I move that Congress adjourns another day after we pass Congress Bill 22-47.
Okay, is that a motion?
Second.
And it's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 22-47. Discussion. Chairman
Yeah,
Berman?
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do have a floor amendment to the said bill. I believe a copy's been made or it's been linked up and ready to take action on. So I so move for its adoption.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt the offer for amendment to CP 22-47 offered by Senator Berman. Okay, motion to suspend the rules. Chairman Berman, suspend rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move suspend any relevant rules that might impede our action on the amendment.
Any second?
Second.
And moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended. Okay, discussion on the offer for amendment to CP 22-47. Any discussion? Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will now vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the proposed for amendment to CP 22-47 offered by Senator Berman, say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offer for amendment by Senator Berman to CP 22-47 is adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will now vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk, call the roll.
For the state of Truk, Chairman Aritas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Senator Pollack.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Figuer.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CB number 22-47 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
State your point.
The motion by Chairman Figuer was that we adjourn sine die after we pass this bill on second reading. Was seconded and we moved on from there.
I didn't restate it that way. I only restated as regarding CP 22-47. Okay,
Okay, all right.
And we
You're
have
the
those
boss.
3 bills. We have the 3 bills by our good Vice Chairman from Koshai. So can we just?
Yeah, we do have the override too, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, we'll come back to the standing committee report calendar. Okay, so Chief Clerk, next bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next bill under the bill calendar now is on Congressional Bill number 22-64 for second and final reading. CB number 22-64 is a bill for NAC to further amend Public Law number 21-80 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-99, 21-110, 21-143, 21-181, 21-188, 21-214, and 21-242 by amending Section 3 thereof to change the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figuer.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Again.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass CB number 22-64 on second and final reading. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations as final reading. Chief Clerk?
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aridas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Senator Pollack.
Yes.
For the state of Yap, Chairman Figure.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-64 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next, please. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is on Congressional Bill number 22-65 for second and final reading. CB number 22-65 is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 21-180 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-191, 21-234, 21-240, and 22-21 by amending Section 3 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure?
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading. CP number 22-65. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk?
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aridas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Senator Pollack.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Figure. Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-65 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next and the last bill under the bill calendar now is on Congressional Bill number 22-66 for second and final reading. CB number 22-66 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-53 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-57, 20-61, 20-69, 20-90, 20-91, 20-96, 20-132, 21-92, 21-135, 21-168, 21-189, and 21-247 by amending Section 2 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other projects and programs in the state of Koshai and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure?
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading. CP number 22-66. Discussion? Any discussion?
Speaker. Speaker.
Yes, Vice Chairman Panik.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. A very minor technical correction on page 4, line 7, the word drinking. There's a letter G to be added. Technical. Thank you, Speaker.
We'll treat that as technical, so just correction to the spelling. Okay, any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk? Staff, take note of the technical correction to be made, the spelling of drinking.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aridas.
Yes.
For the state of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Senator Pollack.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Figure.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-66 has passed Congress on second and final reading. If there is no objection, we will now go back to the standing committee report calendar. Okay. Chief Clerk, it's your waiting list. You have any
Short recess, Speaker.
short recess? back in session. We're now on item 15, standing committee reports. Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For item number 15, please disregard the awaiting list number 22-09.
Okay, thank you. If there's no further business under standing committee report calendar, and if there's no objection, we'll go down to item 21, introduction of bills and resolutions. If you have any, please pass them on to Chief Clerk for introduction. Okay. The next item, Chief Clerk.
Item number 22, miscellaneous business.
Okay, do you have any miscellaneous business, gentlemen? Any miscellaneous business? Chairman Perman, can you honor us with your ability as acting floor leader? Just do the normal routine in-house motions.
You want me to do the motion to adjourn, Sanatai?
Uh,
Mr. Speaker, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker, to allow our presiding officers to review all journals under this special session and to make appropriate amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, okay.
Mr. Speaker, short recess, please.
Appropriate amendments.
Short recess. Congress is back in session. Is there any second to the motion? Chairman Perman?
Second.
It's been moved
Second,
and
second.
seconded that the presiding officers are authorized to review and approve all the journals from day one to last day of this special session. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The motion is carried, so be it. Okay. Now, any other miscellaneous business? Any other
Speaker,
miscellaneous business? Who's that?
it's me,
Oh, Chairman Figueroa, sorry, I didn't,
the invisible man.
you are invisible indeed.
Yeah,
Proceed.
what happened with the garnishment bill?
Where were you? It's
Already went.
Okay, if it, did it pass?
Yes,
It's
you
already
voted
passed.
Yes,
You
All right,
voted
passed.
yes.
Okay, any further miscellaneous business? Okay, I just want to, there is none from members. I just want to take this opportunity to first thank all members for, enduring this rather long special session, although it's only 10 days. And we appreciate your participation. And of course, I would like us to continue to remember our colleagues in our prayers, especially those who are out sick and those who are traveling far. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank our staff for their usual hard works and their dedication to our responsibilities their responsibilities to Congress. We have just adopted the amendments to the declaration, and I would urge all employees of our national government and our citizens to continue to take their vaccines. All these words that we're getting is that the virus continues to mutate, continues to come up with even worse, variants. So it's not slowing down. It's actually just continue to peak in different parts of the world. So I would continue to urge our citizens, and especially our government employees, to go out and take your vaccines. And having said those, unless there are other stuff from members, I will give the honor to Chairman Berman to make the motion.
And thank you very much. Now I make motion to sanitize.
Second.
Again,
Has been moved and seconded that the first special session of the 22nd Congress be adjourned as Sinodai. Those in favor of that motion say aye.
All right.
aye.
Motion carried. The first special session of the 22nd Congress is now adjourned Sinodai. Well, thank you, John.